Michiel, how do you do outreach on X? How do you find clients on X?
Well, it's a good question, Asadel. Well, it all starts with the offer, right? Like that's what we focus on first thing is what do you actually offer? And I think a lot of people are also confused about what an offer is. They think, can I take this off? No. They think that an offer is some crazy website, landing pages, newsletter, Notion, documents, 4 week. It's not an offer. An offer is basically just a very unique sentence. You can like build it on the spot. It doesn't take weeks or months or years to build an offer. Like you can create it like right now. Like if you say, for example, I want to help men over 30 lose belly fat weight in 90 days without having strict diets, that's an offer. Like now you're ready to sell, right? But people kind of get like confused and lost and they're brainwashed about, oh, I gotta make content, websites, landing pages, but it doesn't really matter.
And why do you think people think that way? That they need all of that in order to get a client?
Well, again, it's kind of brainwashed by like big creators like Danko. They see like people like Danko, and Danko tells them that they need a website, but they're not Danko. Like they don't have millions of followers, so it doesn't work for them. It could, but if you're like me, I used to work in a 9 to 5 sales job. I wanted to get out of my 9 to 5. I wanted to build my own business, run my own show. And if that's the same thing with you, like you want to get out of your current position, or you want to get clients, you want to work with people, well then you just need an offer. You don't need websites, landing pages. You don't need any of that. But people they just get brainwashed by all these big creators, and they see all these websites and all these newsletters, and then they think that I got to do the same, but it's just not true. So yeah, to answer your question, how do you find your clients on Twitter or any other platform? Is you need to know your offer. Because if you know that your offer is helping men over 30 lose weight in 90 days without strict diets, belly fat weight, now you know who your clients are, those people. So now you just find big influencers, companies within that specific market, and you just talk to them. Just like, hey man, what are you doing? What are you working on? Oh, I'm doing this. Nice man. Trying to lose weight too, or and then you just have a conversation, then you just book a call and you just get a client. You can get a client tomorrow if you want to. But people are so like lost in all this content garbage and stuff. Because I do come across some people that are like, yeah, well, I'll just figure everything out by myself. And I used to think the same way. But what I've discovered is that entrepreneurship is kind of like basketball. I like to compare with basketball a lot. Like you can try and dribble like all just by yourself, like in your room, watch like videos, pick up like bad habits without even knowing, or you can play in a team. Like you can just get a coach that shows you, okay, like you have to dribble this, you gotta watch out for that, don't do this. And people understand this for basketball. People understand this for if they want to learn how to fight, for example, or they want to learn how to play the piano. But for some reason, and perhaps this is when with like COVID that happened, for some reason people think like they can build a business just like by themselves without knowing anything. And maybe you can, but it might take you 6 months or a year to get some clients. Who knows what kind of bad habits you're gonna pick up? Or you can just work with someone that already runs a business. And even when you get to a point where you're making 8, 10, 12, 15K per month, well, now you want to make 50K or 100K, 200K. And then you just work with, it's just like a team environment instead of trying to like do everything just by yourself. So yeah.
And well, I believe most people make money just to make money because they have seen People have luxurious cars, have a very good lifestyle and everything else. However, if you work and make money, because money is just a tool, right? It's just if you want to build a house, you have the house, you design the house before you take any action. And really, if you work for your family, if you have kids, if you perhaps work for God, you will much easier handle all the stress, handle all the doubts you have in your mind, and you will keep working, and you will have creative thoughts on how to make it happen because you're working for a greater cause.
Oh, you're right, man. It's the dream that people buy. People don't, and again, people get confused on this. People never buy the ticket; they buy the vacation. Like people, when they work with us or with anyone else, what people buy is freedom or some kind of pain or problem that they can fix. So if you can build an offer, like let's say for example, you have an offer that's around sales or client acquisition, people don't buy the fact that you give them clients. People buy the fact that you give them clients, which helps them make some more money, so they can hire more people, so they have more time that they can spend with their family on Sundays, for example, or during the week. Like that's what people buy. Like that's that feeling and that emotion. If you can focus on that, you can charge whatever you want because there's no price on that. Like of course it's 5K. Like I'm gonna give you more time with your grandchildren, your children. How valuable is that? It's more than 5K. But people focus on like the little details, like oh I'm gonna do this and this is the system, and then we have these tools. Like okay, great, but I want more time with my children. That's what I want. Or I want to be able to travel to America with my girlfriend. Yeah, I'll invest 3K for that, of course. So if people can focus on the bigger goal and the bigger picture within their own offer, and they can just sell with confidence. Like people need more confidence. People need more confidence. Like this is what I do. This is what you're gonna get. This is why it's important. This is the emotion. This is the passion that drives that. And this is why it's 5K or 7K or 10K. Because people have the money. I said it yesterday. People spend 10K on bottles in Dubai, on a bottle of champagne. Right? $10,000 for a bottle of champagne. And yet you're here to help someone improve his life and make a change in his impact, and you're scared of charging $2,000. So it's just about leveling up your standard, realizing that there are people that have a lot more money, and then tapping into bigger emotions. Family, time, freedom, traveling. Like those are feelings and emotions that people will invest more money and then just have confidence to sell it. How do you build your confidence? Like have you always been this confident in selling and making money, or how did you build your confidence?
Hopping on many calls, many sales calls trying to sell me in, because what I've learned as well is that people don't buy products or some fancy offer. They buy you. They buy me. So if I want to become a very buyable person, I have to focus on myself and my spiritual part of myself and how I live my daily routine and everything else. So I've learned that people buy from people they like, and that's what I teach my clients as well. So let's say if I have a very good routine every single day, I can sell me in because I have high energy on those sales calls. I can be totally present with that person, and then they buy me first, and then they buy the offer I have, and then me and that client becomes friends with benefits, so to say. And I really like to spend a lot of time with my clients, build up that relationship, because because you can have a client for 1 month, or you can have a client for 1 year, you can have 2 years, 3 years. So I moved away from the transactional type of a business into a more of a relational kind of a business. It's much more fun. I can choose my hours. I can work on a Saturday and take the whole week off and still making a sustainable income because I have a relationship with my clients. So the confidence came from doing many calls, talking with many people, failing a lot, and in the end, uh, now I have confidence. I'm only 22 years old, so I have still a lot to achieve. But I have a very abundant mindset about money and income and stuff like that, because people are paying me. So if I have a good relationship with people, I will never be broke again. So if I take care of myself, I can take care of other people. And yeah, man, I think if you have high energy, focus on being in a high energy level all the time, and really transmute that energy on towards people. They just want to pay you and spend more time with you. How did you manage to have the confidence you have right now?
It's a good question. Well, I think you're right. A lot of it is about reps. Just putting in the reps. You can't avoid the work. My confidence initially actually goes back when I was in my teenage years, because I used to get bullied a lot in school because I had, now my hair is kind of blonde, but when I was younger it was like kind of like ginger, so I got bullied a lot when I was younger. And so I got to a certain point when I was like 15, 16, I was like, I'm done with this. So I got to the gym and I got pretty buff. And so I got a lot of confidence when I went to the gym. So go to the gym. You need to go to it. Makes you money as well if you go to the gym. But then also again, just like you, reps. I got into sales 3 years ago. Before I got onto Twitter, before I got onto Twitter, I've probably already poured in like 2,000 to 3,000 hours into sales. I've done like over 500-600 sales calls with like B2B agencies and companies. So it's also just repetition and putting in the reps and just falling on your face as well, man. Like knowing what not to say through failure. And so that's why I just believe it's way more important to focus on sales than just content. And I know we're now making content, but it's because we have clients and we're looking for different ways to grow the brand. But if you want to get more clients, you just need to be on calls, especially as a coach or a consultant or anyone that wants to provide a service. Like, you need to be talking to people. I used to run like 8 calls. Sometimes I've had days where I had 12 or 13 calls and just close clients. So that's kind of how I got confident, the gym, and then just repetition in general as well. Like, you just have to go through the failures, man. And if you show up with high energy, you're right, man. Like, people buy you because this is also something, and we've seen this with clients of ours that we've worked with, where they have a lot of sales experience working for a company, selling for another company. But when you're selling through a personal brand, your own self, it's completely different. Because when you sell for a company, I used to sell for a company, you're selling the company. So you're selling a company that, maybe they've done a couple million, they've been working for like 15 years, they have all this social proof, they have websites, they have clients. So it's easy to sell. But when you're selling you, it's different, because it's attached to your ego. And so if you're struggling with issues within your own ego or your own self, that's going to reflect into your service. So it's different, and that's why it's important to work on yourself, to hit the gym, to stay active, not scroll through TikTok 8 hours a day, because you're selling yourself. But if you do that, if you show up high energy, hey man, how you doing? Are you struggling with this? Yeah, I can fix you with that. I can help you with that. Oh, how does it work? Well, we do this, and then you get this. You want to buy 4K? Oh, sure. Yeah. But you need to build like confidence within your own self of doing that, which goes back through repetition.
Yes. And well, if I'm gonna think of where people are at the moment, because we have achieved quite a lot on X during those 2 years being working together. And if I were to go back, because I believe people who are in the 30s, they probably have a lot of stories in their life, a lot of failures and things they have learned along the way, because we are all unique. There's nobody like you, right? We have our own unique stuff in life. And what I've learned is that if you know 10% more than another person in something, in some topic or in life, then you could teach that to somebody because he's looking for to learning that 10% you know. So everybody could be selling right today, right now. So really, if you know something, you feel passionate about it, sit down with yourself and think of that mission, that purpose. And when you are with somebody, you can just you don't need any case studies, testimonials, and everything. Because we started out without any testimonials, and we still managed to close, pretty high-ticket clients. And it was because we are just ourselves on those calls. We act like the sales call is just like a coffee conversation over a coffee. And so when you do those sales calls or discovery calls, you open up the conversation with high energy. Yeah, and then you ask those questions and tell your story to them, and they will resonate a lot with that story. And then after that, you just keep on the conversation, and then comes a moment when they ask you, so, all right, I like you, man. So what's your offer then? How could you help me with this? And then you just to present the offer to them, and very naturally just present the price. So yeah, I can help you with that. This is priced at $3,500, and then you just be quiet and let that sink in for him, and he will look away. Okay, I can do that. However, I can only do $1,000 per month. Then you say, okay, sure, we can do that. I understand you have your 9 to 5 and you can't manage to do 3.5K up front, but we can do that. We can do installments. That's totally fine. And then comes a moment when you have to act with confidence here. Maybe practice before in front of the mirror how to, because it's an energy exchange. Now you end the call, set up the onboarding call with that client, and you just end the call very naturally, like, oh, I look forward to working with you, and see you on Friday. And then after that, you send over the payment link, and he will pay you, and then you start collaborating with that person. So when you start out, you just have your life story, your own failures and everything else, tell that to the person, and he would like to buy because you know something, and you can teach him and help him with something that he's looking for. But what he's looking for is the confidence in you and your story, not some fancy offer or product or anything else. And it's a huge market right now because there are so many people who just sell. For example, I have like maybe 30 people reach out to me daily saying, hey man, I can help you with this, I can help you make money, please buy from me. All right, I'm a copywriter. And they're not saying why I should buy from them. Why do you stand out as a copywriter? What do you do different from all of those 346 other copywriters that reached out to me this week? If your one-on-one service is not there yet, why should you spread the message? Why should you, no, it's a question for everybody. Like, why should you start with newsletter, spreading the message on Twitter, and doing all of these bigger things, those broader abstract things, when you're not really don't have a solid foundation yet with your coaching service or one-on-one copywriting service. So really, what we should do, when we are not there yet, after 2 years, we are still not spread the message. We are still focusing on one-on-one, getting our learning and everything else. And now we are moving into content. But most people start with content, newsletter, and joining courses and everything else because they're not focusing on their one-on-one relationships with people. And it takes a lot of effort to start working with people. Every single day you wake up, you're talking with people, and most people watch Netflix instead, or joining courses, just consuming. But when you talk to people, you're actually pouring out energy. And most people don't. They want to no. They're stuck in that. They're keeping their energy, so they're not showing themselves. Smiling to other people, talking to people, trying to help people. And it's just a matter of choice in life we have to make. We're a consumer or we are a creator, helping people, spreading the world, spreading goodness to other individuals. So when you have a solid offer, you have gotten 25 clients, amazing results, whatever it is, copywriting, making money for somebody, or their life has improved, Then you can start with content, spreading the message on social media and everything else, because you have a solid offer, you have a solid product, an outcome, you know that you can provide results. Then you can start focusing on doing content, writing newsletters, building up some emails and stuff like that. However, in the beginning, you should really wake up in the morning and helping individual people. Help them get results. Feel satisfied, feel the dopamine kick you get out of helping a person get a client. If you're a coach, sales coach or copywriting, help that person or business make a lot of money first. Have that feeling of, oh, I know how to give people results. Now spread the message, because naturally you will feel passionate about helping other people after helping individuals. So people should stop joining courses, watching YouTube videos, and just start helping one person after another, because you will learn. We learn by helping people. We learn 10x faster rather than watching courses or 346 YouTube video, and then maybe after 253rd video you will find in that 1 minute of part of the video, now I learned that. So we have wasted maybe like 25 hours, and then you learn one single thing you individually learned from it. So it's better, maybe perhaps if you want to scale even faster, work with a coach. When you join the gym, you get a coach or a trainer who can teach you how to move the handles correctly, so you're not wasting 3 years doing it this way. If you have a coach, he can help you and you know instantly how to do it correctly. So really focus on helping individual people before you're trying to grow a newsletter, because growing a newsletter means that you're trying to spreading the message and get more clients. But what you can do now, if you start from the beginning, just help one guy, have one single person paying you money. That's the first step before you start any content at all. You can help your family member, help your friend, whatever, for free. And then don't be afraid of asking for money, because making your first money online or in real life, not from a 9-to-5 job, but yourself on Stripe, PayPal, or some other Bitcoin account or whatever, making your own money individually has such a healing effect. It helps you to make more money. So that's the advice from somebody who hasn't made any money online yet. Ask a family member to pay you for your service, because that will help you to get that spark of helping other people and make more money. And what do you think about that, Michiel?
It's Michiel. Always a tongue twister. Well, to add on top of your beautiful paragraph, I think well again it comes back to like big creators. People just consume way too much. They don't take any action, and it makes them feel productive. I also think, because what I also want to do with what we're doing here is I want to, because it's part of sales, I want to help people shift their beliefs, so they themselves start to realize, oh yeah, I actually need to do this, so they can make a change and improve their life. But I think a lot of people also are like stuck in this content because it makes them feel productive. They truly believe like, oh, I'm writing, when they have no, if you have clients it's a different story, but they have no clients, or maybe a client for like $200, but they're not making 6, 7, 10K, 15K, they're not doing that yet. And so they're writing all these tweets and all these threads, and now they're gonna write an entire program in Notion when they have no clients, because it makes them feel productive. They feel like, oh, I'm building a business. But it's not true. That's not a business. Sorry to break it to you, but when you don't have a solid client base and you're like making Notion pages and websites, it's not business. Business is reaching out to people, booking calls, building connections, getting clients, getting paid, seeing your Stripe go up and up and up. That is business. That's yeah, but they're just, and this comes back again to the offer and sales, because they're not sure what an offer is, which if you watch this you now do. They're not sure what an offer is, so they're scared to sell it, so they don't sell it, So they keep writing all this content because they want to be productive, but they don't actually know what they need to do. And that's what we mean with investing into coaching, mentorship. Doesn't have to be us, can be other people. So many people they're doing the wrong thing. They think they're building a business by making Notion pages, but they're not. So yeah, I think we should. We have like 5 minutes. I'm gonna end it with a little story on my end. Because when I got onto Twitter, actually, I started working with you. Look where we are now. We're not there yet. We need like another 25 million, but we'll get there. But when I got onto Twitter, and it's all about mindset as well. Like I got onto Twitter, I was like, shit, I'm in this 9-to-5 sales job. This is not good. I need to get out, or my dreams are gone. And I was like, I'm trying to make money online. I don't know what I'm doing. I was doing like courses, information. Nothing was happening. And then I took a coach, and then we took action. And within 3 weeks, I had 78 followers. Little couple tweets to like just have something on the page, like a little story about me. That was it. And in 3 weeks, I had a client for 1,500. And then I made 5K a month. I quit my 9-to-5, and now I'm in Barcelona, in Spain, making a podcast.
That's a fast move.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So yeah, you don't need all the crazy content, man. Stop doing content. Just reach out to people and just hop on calls and get clients.